So, I thought I'd turn this on because I noticed I'm just working in a sketchbook this morning. Well, I mean, I noticed that, but what I noticed is my starts are different, like, and this is something to pay attention over time when you're in a daily practice. It really will change, and, you know, you're the only one that's going to be the gauge for that, because you're going to feel the sensitivity, the sensibility, and notice, because, you know, you're working days and months and years a lot, right? This is a lot. Over time, you're gonna notice that it's just different the way you build the relationship to the thing. And another important thing to notice is it's always changing. For instance, these are some loose pages I have in the back of that book. This is a new idea, but I want to blow that up. And then, you know, I'll just save what's important to me. They're like little things that you can't let go of, and they probably hold clues to something else eventually down the road. That's another thing about having a daily practice and kind of becoming your own curator of your own work, like an archivist. You know, and you don't keep everything because but so this is an older sketchbook, right? And I guess this is last year. But yeah, these are just, sometimes I like to just take, you know, a smaller work and paste it in. I didn't always do that, but if it was interesting to me, you know, this is like, you could say sometimes, like, look at this and say it's nothing. But, you know, in that moment, there was something going on, right? That just those, and that's simplistic, that's minimalistic, right? Sometimes it's just about the feeling or the color or conveying a mood, right? This was awesome because those are coffee stains. And, you know, that one happened by accident. I remember that one. What's cool is you have this, like, memory of the experience. Maybe sometimes you don't want to remember, though. But it's all, like, clues, right, leading us forward. And, you know, I'm letting it be what it wants to be here. My way of dealing with the pages is just to insert, like, blank sheets, like, it was, like, paper given to me, so I could just use it freely as, like, a divider of sorts. So... sometimes there's words coming. Wow. I haven't looked at this book in a while, so I just grabbed it. Actually, I was investigating what was in the back the other day because these taped in things are, like, calling me lately. What to me these just represent, like, what could be possible on a larger scale. And I'm, like, working on a grant proposal right now for a project, and these 3 pages came to mind. I see this direction that was forming in between over the years. And that's another important thing to like say about working daily, working consistently. Even if it's just a little in a sketchbook or right on loose pages. You guys know I love to do loose pages. Look, I just found these loose pages because I was looking for other artwork. And oh wow, they're exciting to me. And those color combinations too. But so this is like, you know, one way to keep a record of everything. Like when I look at these, I see the potential for really large scale work, and that's like the dream. And I'm like working towards that, but you know, I have my own fear, reservations, and I have some limitations with space and whatnot and funding. I'm not gonna lie there. So like, you know, it's sometimes you have to kind of sacrifice what you see, or you don't see it right away. That's important to say that because you just never know what a moment brings. What, like having a record of something, you can look back on it and see, you know, and you don't have to put it in a book, but you can. But again, these like loose sheets, they work just like a sketchbook, right? And you know, to me, you can sell these off as individual moments and drawings and whatnot. You know, but you're getting an idea. But what I was, well, the reason why I turned on the camera, because this is this year's book, but I did it a lot. I did it a lot faster. Because I've just been more aggressive with it all. And you know, that can like ebb and flow, but a lot of times I am working on the loose sheets too, so that's kind of like why I don't have too many sketchbooks. I like loose paper. I don't like to wait. I like to like if I turn the page, it's gonna get stuck together, and then I don't mind if it does that, but if I'm if I want to like preserve it somewhat, I don't want to, you know, you can't just work and then turn the page. Like you have to wait, and I don't always like that. So these are some interesting things that are going on, like some new happenings. And it's funny, like even within the last like, let's say I started this when I started a class, so it's only been like 3 months here, plus doing the 100-day project. I was doing all this in between the 100 days, so I made a lot of stuff within a short amount of time. And I like that. The more you can make, the more you're gonna find for yourself. And of course, especially if you're going through a really hard time, it's gonna help you release a lot of things. So like it's a twofold process here. Getting out the emotions and the feelings around internal states, and you know, in turn that eventually becomes healing. And then just like there's some desires and dreams in there. And this page I really love. Like it's minimal, but still raw and expressive. So I guess my minimal would still be maximal. It's just some value study thing. But what I'm trying to say is, even after like 6 years of having a regular practice, and you know, always working, I noticed that this is different for me in just the way I started, but I wasn't thinking about it, and I just show up to the moment today and said, I'm just gonna do this and do that. And there is an important message in all that, because you just never really know. Yes, like, but if you're not like showing up, you're not going to know, right? And that's why even just experimenting and like expressing what's going on in the morning, you know, this is like my meditation in color, line, shape, and form, and this is like how I kind of enliven the day, and it can be simple, right? But see, ultimately, I think this is all leading somewhere, but the problem is sometimes we want to have the answer right away. And I get it. I do too. But like what I've noticed, and this just might be me, because I'm only talking through my experience, is that it's really ripening over time. And then the more I'm in the practice, the more the thing is emerging. And I haven't been rushing anything. I haven't been rushing to like try to get anywhere in art or life. You know, at times I've been discouraged. But I keep moving forward, and the cool thing that I'm starting to notice now is there is like a different thing emerging, and that's only though because I've been doing it and doing it and doing it. Yeah. But I wanted to turn that on and just say that, and you know, encourage you to just, you know, stay true to the expressions, right? And because sometimes that part's going to be hard. But once you get stronger within yourself, things will shift like really big, and it will change you the person. It doesn't necessarily mean you have all the external things again, but you have a big internal reward. And I'm more interested in focusing on the internal rewards. Of course, I do like the external things, like, but for me, my practice really has been a lot about moving into that internal feeling states, going deeper with what my shamanic and spiritual practice is, integrating and releasing and remembering through the art making process, and delivering like soulful messages out. What I'm trying to say is that I've had more than one practice. You know, it's not just an art practice. There's many things that informs the artwork. But what happened over time is what I noticed is that, you know, I became a lot stronger internally with a point of views. And now that externally is starting to like explode out, which is cool. But, you know, I still have doubts and fears, you know, because who doesn't, right? But that's the thing, like, you're gonna have doubts and you're gonna have fear. Maybe it comes a little bit quieter, but depending on the day, you know. Ooh, this one's nice. I'm just seeing these now. I just pulled them out this week when I was looking for something else, so like it's surprising me. This was done in Santa Fe. It's like sometimes, you know, having that memory of the moment, of the experience and the expression, and sometimes we want to remember, but sometimes we want to maybe forget. But, you know, even when you like release maybe a harder moment onto the page, or like in writing, you know, you're getting it out of you. So like, you know, the cool thing about that is you could technically, if you wanna, I'm not gonna rip this up, but if you wanna one day just rip it up and throw it out, you know, you could do that. But like, just the fact that you're getting it out, yeah, that's like so important. I can't express that enough. And of course, like, these are different kinds of relationships, the color, line, shape, and form. That's why I remember. Nice. I hope you're getting an idea of like what it can just be like. All this experimentation and exploration is an expression of the self, and that's always changing, rearranging, and reassembling is what I like to say. You can make art, but you can also make, you know, a whole new anything, really. So yeah, that's just like a look through of all that. And yeah, I always like to say one thing informs another. And that's why we keep moving on here and keep creating and, you know, just have an experience. And, you know, it eventually turns into other things. But I think giving yourself time and giving yourself the breath will create more depth. You know, and I'm looking for a lot of depth. And maybe you're not. You know, this is just my journey and my understanding and my noticing over time. And I can speak into all these points because I've been like consistently doing it for years. But you know, it might be different for you, the way you come to it, the understanding. I'm not saying you have to like now adopt my philosophy, but I try to keep it open in general and, you know, like just show my experience of my art practice and process so you can have a better understanding of where you can eventually go and take yourself. And there's always these little moments flipping in and out. And that's what we want to pay attention to in this like mark and movement and moment. And we just keep doing it because, well, we love it, right? If you love something, you can't really let it go.